21. Our total fund balance was $27,086,257.70. Of that right now, I just wanted to let you know, part of that is our energy project that we currently have going on. We had $6.7 million deposited in last year, and we're currently spending that out. So part of that balance is still that money that's bond money. Also, we just received in our property tax in November and December, which is accumulates $3.6 million, which carries us through till November, December of next year. So our balance is a little higher. It always is this time of year. Our general fund revenues right now, as of halfway through the year, is at 66.1%. Our expenditures are at 24%. Our road fund revenues are at 56.1%. Our expenditures are at 32%. Our jail fund revenues are at 49.7%. Our expenditures are at 47.3%. LGEA fund, our revenues are at 78.4%. Our expenditures are at 19.9%. CSEP revenues are 7.7%. Expenditures are at 8.6%. 911 fund, our revenues are at 41%, but the second quarter of all the city, 2 cities and the county, their support did not get put in before 12/31, so we really are closer at a little over 50% on that. They just got put in January. And our expenditures on the 911 fund are at 35%. Health fund, our revenues are at 50.3%. Our expenditures are at 22.5%. Does anybody have any questions over the financials?
First item you said, that's captured in the general fund number?
The energy project?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's in the general fund. And so is the property tax, and so is, that counts in our investments, which are in Edward Jones too, which is approximately $2 million. That includes that number.
So Glenna, basically the taxes from the property taxes are all in, unless it's
the majority, yes, it's 90-something percent in.
Okay.
It usually all comes in pretty much within a month to the 2-month period. When people get a free or get a little bit of a discount, usually everybody pays during that time.
I got one quick question.
Yes.
Can you kind of add some color to the CSEP revenue to expense delta?
Yes, CSEP is a wash account, so all the monies that we spend out of it comes in through federal dollars. So on July 1st, we usually have a balance in there where we have received funds in June but have not spent them out. So therefore, sometimes the expenditures can be more than the revenues are for this year because we had a balance in there that was going to be spent out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good question. The CSEP will always be made whole sometimes, but we've used some of county money in to pay those bills till we get reimbursed. So,
Gotcha.
yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Glenna.
You're
Appreciate your report. Next is a day to honor a man of Madison County and that has put his heart and soul into the people of Madison County, and I thought it was appropriate to recognize him with a proclamation. So Carlos, if you want to make your way up to the podium, I'm sure you don't want to, but I really want you to. So, whereas Carlos Cole obtained his EMT certification while in high school and completed his paramedic education at EKU in 1984. Whereas Carlos began his professional career with the Madison County EMS in 1982 and has remained a dedicated employee for 40 years. And whereas when Carlos started his career with Madison County EMS, there was one EMS station on the bypass in Richmond, and they had a room in the basement of the Berea Hospital with an ambulance outside. And whereas Carlos has served as deputy coroner for Madison County since 2003 and has served his master coroner certification. And whereas Carlos was also employed with the University of Kentucky Air Medical Service as a flight paramedic for 17 years. And whereas recent achievements of Madison County EMS include CAAS accreditation, American Heart Mission Lifeline Gold Plus, and KBEMS EMSC Pediatric Emergency Care Award of Excellence. And whereas Carlos is a legacy in Kentucky health community and an incredible mentor to all who have had the opportunity to work with him and around him. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim January 25th as Carlos Cole Day in recognition of his accomplishments, dedication, and contribution to Madison County EMS and all of Madison County who have benefited from his leadership. Man, I respect you more than you know. A brother in Christ and a wonderful leader, and I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity for the last 7 years to work alongside of you. I'm very proud of you. You deserve it, and I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll let you say a few words, and then I'd like to present you with the proclamation, and then
Okay.
maybe have a picture and stuff.
That was very nice. I can't thank you enough for that. But let me tell you, all those accolades there weren't accomplished by me. They were accomplished by this team. So I've been blessed to be a part of Madison County since I was a teenager. It's bittersweet. You know, I'm gonna miss everybody. I'm not going away. I'll still be here. So, but you know, it's just Madison County's blessed me. They gave me a job when I was 18 years old, didn't know which end of the ambulance to get into. And then some way along the line, they let me run the place. So, you know, I have nothing but gratitude for everybody. I've learned from the very best in the business. I've been blessed by opportunities that I probably didn't deserve. But I appreciate everything and every mentor I've had throughout my career, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. I have to say, you did have a good mentor. Mike's all yours. Oh, thank you.
How do you turn this off? No, just kidding.
Oh. Get up there a minute, take a picture. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. I've waited for this day for a long time, Carlos, and the day has finally come. For those of you who don't know, Carlos was my student. He was a fellow paramedic, deputy coroner, friend. So, with that said, Ron Jackson, if you all don't know Ron, stand up, Ron, so everybody knows who he is. Ron, I want to wish you luck, but I want you to take a good look at me and Carlos. Neither one of us own a comb. And so you can figure out what's coming, okay? But for people who would not have known Carlos, and to see him operate now as a paramedic, and we rode many miles together. And years ago, when there was only one paramedic in the county, and then we went to 3, correct, Carlos? And students like Carlos would be on the ambulance, and the paramedics who were off duty, because I like to drive fast anyway, would listen to that scanner or that radio, and if it was an ALS run, we would drive there as safely, Sheriff, as we could, and get there, and because they could not function without somebody riding with them in ALS. And I remember a call early in his career, 421, 25 split, and I'm listening to the radio, and I know it's not going to be good, and Carlos is on there, and so I'm just driving out there, and the car's flipped over, the guy's trapped in the car, and I'm talking to somebody else on the radio, and I said, tell him to set everything else up. Have the IV, intubation if necessary, whatever. I'll be there, because he could not function. I mean, Dr. Fritz isn't here, I don't think, right now, but because if he'd called us, he'd have fired us both. Now, that's just the way he was, and that's what made this ambulance service what it is, too. But I get there, and I remember, I think I put the truck in park. We all got real excited about things back then. But anyway, I get out, and I can see this guy's arm just laying out from underneath the car like this, and Carlos is talking to him underneath it, and he's got the tourniquet. He puts it on, and I remember just walking up behind him and saying, stick him, Carlos. And when I look down, his hand's going like this. Now, you would never think that now, would you? But I always remember that moment. You know, this is when we start, and this is how we end. Carlos, thanks.
Come up and group picture, and the court members, if you can, get maybe in behind.
Thank you, Carlos. Hey, Carlos, just as you make your way back, you know, we've seen this as other people retire, and they're always very humble when they get to the microphone, and you're no exception to that. But, you know, it's just been my experience over the years that ships sail upright with a good captain. And if they don't have a good captain, it shows. So you was talking about earlier about you having good mentors. Well, I can tell you that your people someday will say they had a good mentor. You know, we appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Yep. Good. Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate what you do. All right, next on the agenda is Resolution 2022-09. This is a Fish and Wildlife Boating Access Grant application. Good morning again, Glenna.
Good morning. I'm going to read this for you. A resolution for application and administration of Fish and Wildlife Resources Boating Access Program grant funds. Whereas the Boating Access Program authorized by the Sport Fish Restoration Act of 1950 sets aside federal money for the construction of boating access facilities. And whereas the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources receives a portion of these funds and uses them to provide boating access to the Commonwealth's abundant water resources. And whereas cities, counties, state agencies, and other organizations may request to partner with KDFWR in the construction or renovation of boating access facilities within their jurisdiction. And whereas the KDFWR is currently accepting grant applications for the Boating Access Program for the development and/or renovation of public recreational boating facilities intended for either motorized or non-motorized watercraft. And whereas eligible grant projects typically consist of single or double lane boat ramps with truck trailer parking, canoe kayak access, or the repair rebuilding of existing access facilities. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, desires to make an application for the KDFWR Boating Access Program grant funds to improve boating access at Will Green Lake Marina. And whereas the County of Madison, Kentucky wishes to authorize the judge executive and/or his designee to make application for the KDFWR Boating Access Program grant funds, and if the application is successful, to enter into an agreement with KDFWR to administer this award, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary to facilitate and administer this award, to act as an authorized correspondent for this award. And whereas the KDFWR Boating Access Program is a competitive grant program, and the amount of grant funding Madison County will receive, if any, will not be known until the grant awards are made by KDFWR. And whereas if awarded, Madison County will be required to provide a 25% local match, which can be through cash or in-kind contributions. Now therefore be it resolved on the 25th day of January 2022 by Madison County, Kentucky, the judge executive and/or his designee is hereby authorized to execute and furnish all required documentation, including memorandum of agreements, as may be required for the furtherance of the above referenced project, and to act as the authorized correspondent for said project.
All right, thank you, Glenna. Do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-09?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, this, Judge, I'm glad to see that we're applying for this, because there's a lot of people that use Will Green out there. And, of course, anybody that's ever been out there in the last year or two knows that it needs a lot of work. And we were able to meet with the Wildlife Department back several months ago and talk to them about some things. And, you know, if we were awarded this and they were able to do the things that they hoped that might come from this grant, you know, it would really make that site out there where, you know, the parking lot would be better, the ramps would be better, just general improvement out there in that area. So I'm really glad to see this.
Yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity as well. That we're talking, when we talk to them too, you know, we talked about a kayak launch. I think there's a lot more kayakers that use that now and go out there, maybe even fish from their kayak or just from recreation purposes. So we're looking at making some improvements out there that are much needed. So
I think, Judge, if we get an upgrade out there, we'll get a whole lot more participation in the use of that lake out there.
yeah, we've struggled. I know the road department's gone out there several times. I think there's a hole in the ramp, like where if you don't know where it is, your boat tire actually, when you're trying to unload or load your boat, it sinks down in a hole, and so there are there are some issues with the ramp, and so this project will encompass several different little projects out there. So, yeah. Any other comments, discussion? All right, we do have a motion and a second. So if no more discussion, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Pastor Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Resolution 2022-10. This is the USBR 21 Signage Amendment Agreement. Glenna?
A resolution authorizing the Madison County Fiscal Court to amend an agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and the Madison County Fiscal Court for the United States Bike Route 21 Signage Project, USBR 21. This resolution supersedes Resolution 20-14. The Madison County Fiscal Court entered into an agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet on March 3, 2020 for the USBR 21 Signage Project. And whereas the Commonwealth of Kentucky committed discretionary funds in the amount of $85,000 to go toward the FD 39 construction for the USBR 21 Signage Project. Whereas the parties desire to amend said agreement, and whereas all requirements for the construction phase, including the programming of the funding, have been met. Whereas this amendment increases the FD 39 construction funding by $24,000 with a new grand total of $109,000. And whereas this amendment made and entered into by and between KYTC and the Madison County Fiscal Court, acting as an amendment to the agreement entered into between the parties dated March 3, 2020, and whereas all the other terms and conditions of SC 625 200001294 shall remain in effect. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve the resolution and authorizes the Judge Executive to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Glenna. Do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-10?
So moved.
Yeah, second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Judge, the Route 21, it goes out through Red House and in that area, and I'm sure through this area too.
It does.
Ben's a big bike rider. Biking is a very upcoming sporting event and recreation for the outdoors now, especially with the COVID going on. A lot more people are getting out and getting some fresh air, and I encourage people to get a bike and get out, and it's great exercise and helps with stress and a lot of relief to be able to get out and enjoy the fresh air. So I'm all for the.
Yep.
I agree, you're right. I am a somewhat avid cyclist, and there is a good section of the southern end of the county that, the signs are up, the 21 markers, and I'm glad to see them, and I've ridden on, a bunch of those roads, and it's a nice addition. And, a lot of people, when they look at tourism, they think of, a particular destination that they have to come to, whether it's the Arts and Crafts Fair or whatever, but, I can tell you that adventure tourism is a big deal. And the more that we can promote this, and the more that the signage that is out there to give people direction and where they're going, it'll bring more people to the county, more people to eating at our restaurants, staying at our hotels, and those types of things. So I think it's a great addition, and I'm all for it.
Yep.
And this is completely a pass-through from the Transportation Cabinet.
Right.
Yeah, well, they needed a host county to
Yes.
to sort of administer and be that pass through. This U.S. bike route actually goes from, I think, Atlanta to Cleveland, and so Friends of Boone's Trace were able to get the original road into Kentucky, Boone's Trace, as part of the path, and so this came from out of Bell County and goes all the way through, connecting counties together all the way to Mason County, and so we were the host. And then once they got all the project is now complete, all the signs are up, they had added some signs and different things along the way that was in the original bid. So that's what this additional funds are for.
Last year, Judge, I was out on Walton Meadow Pike, and I had met with the state engineer out there, and we were talking about some road and ditching issues on that road. And there was a gentleman come riding by on a bicycle, and he stopped. And he started talking to us, and he said that he had came from West Virginia. He was on his way to Seattle, Washington. And I thought, you're in a whole lot better shape than I am. I couldn't make him bridge to Richmond, but it's amazing what people will do. I mean, how much they enjoy that and what they'll invest in doing that kind of traveling.
Yep. Yep. Any additional comments? Any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Thanks, Glenn.
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 2022-11. This is a notification requirement for, help me, Dustin, Fresenius Medical Care in Berea.
You bet. Yeah. Yes. Resolution 2022-11, a resolution approving a notification requirement for FMC Berea and Madison County Emergency Management Agency. Whereas the Madison County Emergency Management Agency recognizes that given an emergency disruption of service, the Madison County Emergency Management Agency will be assisting in providing special assistance as available and applicable for Fresenius Medical Care, FMC, in Berea, Kentucky. And whereas Madison County Emergency Management Agency will work to provide priority assistance as available and applicable via power restoration, communications, security, supplies, water, fuel, sandbags, and occasionally transport, which is attached hereto this resolution. And whereas the duration of this agreement shall be for a period of 1 year from the date signed, with automatic renewal every year following or until termination by a participating party upon 30-day written notice. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the Emergency Management Agency Director to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Dustin. Do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-11?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-11.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Resolution 2022-12. This is the same thing, but for Richmond. Go ahead, Dustin.
Resolution 2022-12, a resolution approving the notification requirement for FMC Richmond and Madison County Emergency Management Agency. Whereas the Madison County Emergency Management Agency recognizes, given an emergency disruption of service, the Madison County Emergency Management Agency will be assisting in providing special assistance as available and applicable for the Fresenius Medical Care, FMC, in Richmond, Kentucky. And whereas the Madison County Emergency Management Agency will work to provide priority assistance as available and applicable via power restoration, communication, security, supplies, water, fuel, sandbags, and occasionally transport, which is attached hereto this resolution. And whereas the duration of this agreement shall be for a period of 1 year from the date signed, with automatic renewal every year following, or until terminated by a participating party upon 30 days written notice. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the Emergency Management Agency Director to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Dustin. Do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-12?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Justin, would you make a note, please, on their document that they attached on both the Berea and the Richmond one, in their first paragraph, about 5 lines down, they've made a typo in there. They've put in FKC, and I'm pretty sure they meant FMC.
Ah,
But it's the same way on both
Yep,
documents.
I'll let them know that.
And Dustin, I think it'd be good for the community to just give a little summary of what this is.
Yeah, so FMC is a dialysis organization here in Madison County, and I shouldn't say Madison, they're across the state, but these are the organizations within Madison County. And the CFR that's listed here requires them to have a notification that they have communicated with their emergency management agency that, hey, in an event of an emergency where power is disrupted or other major situations, that they have made it known that there may need assistance. And as you know, as it says here, this is just a notification. We understand it. They know it. And, you know, given the situation, we may be able to do certain things, and sometimes it may have to wait. That's kind of that given understanding, but it's a requirement for them to make these notifications, and this is just documenting that. And I know as we went through the year last year, Judge, we started to communicate as, hey, we're going to do these as automatic renewals because it is an every year thing.
Right.
And this was on the beginning, before we started that kind of process, so this is, I think we may be at the end of that, but that this is a standard thing for them to do every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Dustin, I'd just like to say I appreciate you taking lead on these programs, and anytime there's an emergency, you're out front with trying to notify the people that need help and keep us up to date on what all's going on and all these requirements that we have to have, and just letting us know about anything that's emergency oriented.
You bet, sir.
We appreciate you.
Happy to do it. Thank you.
Also just wanted to ask, I saw where they do have regular trainings in-house down there. Are you all involved in that, or is that strictly them?
With FMC?
Yes.
So depending on what the training is, we do communicate them about our exercises. So, one of the big ones that we deal with here is obviously the CSEP exercise. So there's that communication with them during those, not only the one in September that, we work with FEMA on, but we're always doing those. So making those, just making sure phone numbers are correct. Hey, point of contacts haven't changed. So yeah, we communicate with them pretty consistently. Yeah.
All right. Any other comments, discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bodkin,
Yes.
Master Robinson,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2022-13. This is a Professional Energy Services Agreement Amendment. A resolution to amend the Professional Energy Services Agreement between Madison County Fiscal Court and Perfection Group, Inc. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court owner and Perfection Group, Inc. contractor entered into a fully executed Professional Energy Services Agreement on March 2nd, 2021. And whereas this agreement is for the purpose of installing energy savings equipment and providing other services as designed for the owner's property and buildings. And whereas the owner and contractor desire to amend the agreement by adding a proposed scope of work addendum number 8. And whereas all work will coincide with the existing project scopes. And whereas the increased cost to the base agreement is for this added scope of work is $199,548. Now therefore be it resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorize the judge executive to execute same on behalf of the county. I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-13.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-13, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? The reason for this addendum is because of the sewer line problems that are in the basement floor of the jail. That was always part of the scope of work, is to repair those lines. Those lines had been dry rotted for years, and Steve obviously could go into a lot greater detail than I can because he's actually watched them fixed in the portion that we had fixed. But there was no way to know exactly what kind of damage was done until they got in there and started jackhammering up concrete and getting in there and fixing those lines. And so there was a lot more repairs that had to be made and a lot more unknowns than were ever anticipated with that part of this project. So this is the additional cost to finish out that portion of the project, which is replacing all those sewer lines.
I think it's good too. I talked to Steve about this yesterday and with you, Judge, and I think it's good for the people to know that Steve negotiated with these guys and talked to the Perfection Group several times in getting them to take some ownership in some of this and in their bid, and got them to make it a concession of $133,000 and some change. Is that correct, Steve?
Yes.
And then also this total doesn't reflect because that Steve, and using his experience in the labor that he has over there in the jail, is going to be able to do a shower coatings in there that was $166,000 in the original. We're going to be able to do that in-house for $30,000 to $40,000. So, we appreciate you negotiating with those folks, Steve, and taking a tough approach with that, and them being willing to give us that concession for that.
You're welcome, Tom. I just wanted to make it as fair and equitable as possible. And in this scenario, that we, the county and the jail and the contractor, are all taking an equal hit.
Yep. That's good. I was in some meetings, and I would have to say it's probably one of the first times that I've seen Steve get a little bit red, I guess, get a little heated, and I do appreciate it too, because he did do a lot of pushback, and it shows in this. Yeah. So, any other questions or comments or concerns? This will complete that scope of work, which has been overdue for a long time. So, Dustin.
Judge, just real quick, kind of related to the Perfection Group situation, I want to, for the record, so that everybody in the community hears this, the Perfection Group work, not this work we're talking about today, but the holistic bid, some of that was done, is going to be done at, and has been done at CSEP buildings.
Yep.
That, for the record, for everybody to know, that portion is not part of the county's bond.
Right.
So I know we know that, but there has been some discussion at the state level, and I just wanted for the record to say, for those folks, there is the county portion that is going on work at the jail or other portions has not been, the CSEP portion has not been bonded.
Yep.
Because we've been working with the state on some concerns they had. That has not been bonded.
That was actually all spelled out in the bond itself with
Correct.
with Joe and them.
Yes, sir.
At RSA, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody here in this arena is aware of that.
Oh, but KYEM is not.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted for the record for them to know that portion of the CSEP was not bonded.
Okay. Well, if we need to get them any kind of documentation on that, we can provide that pretty easily.
We have.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it. Any other discussion on Resolution 2022-13? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Bodkin,
Yes.
Master Robinson,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Next, Resolution 2022-14. This is an amendment. This is amending our 2022 fiscal court meeting schedule. A resolution to amend the 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting schedule. This resolution supersedes Resolution 2021-127. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to amend the 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting schedule adopted by Resolution 2021-127 on November 23rd, 2021. And whereas COVID-19 cases have continued to rise in Madison County, and whereas to ensure the health and safety of the fiscal court members, as well as all Madison Countyans, the fiscal court agrees it is in the best interest of the court to change the meeting venue to a larger space. And whereas all fiscal court meetings for February and March 2022 will be held in the Berea Council Chambers courtroom located at 304 Chestnut Street, Berea, Kentucky. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution to supersede Resolutions 2021-127 and amend the 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting schedule. I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-14.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Just to be clear, it only supersedes in part.
Yes.
Correct? The 2021-127 was the entire year schedule.
It was, but I mean, we've included it all together.
So, just to be clear, it only supersedes it.
Yeah, we didn't want to, we wanted to, but we really wanted to go with this resolution for the simple fact that if you don't have the whole schedule on here, now you've got different parts that have changed, and we wanted to keep it consistent. So yes, you are correct. It only changed three meetings technically.
Right.
But,
Attachment, I understand, it's what's in the resolution, why I'm saying it. So
Okay.
It's fine, I just want to make sure it's clear.
okay. So is something wrong with the way the language in the resolution reads that we need to change?
No, it'll be okay. I just want to clarify it on the record that you are submitting out an entire new schedule, but the only difference being February and March calendar dates.
Yes, that is correct. Mhm. But it's only, so again, it's, the March 8th meeting would have already been here in Berea.
Right,
So there's only 3 dates on here that actually are changing.
right. It's just the attachment's not referenced in the resolution. So the resolution reads as if it's only changing your March through February and March.
Okay,
So it's fine, I'm not saying the wording, but just for the record, it has to be clarified that you're adopting a whole new calendar. It's just the only differences on the calendar are.
okay, I got you. I understand what you're saying. So it would have been a non-issue if we'd have written in the resolution and attached the calendar with it, correct? All right, we just need to make a note of that, Robin, Jill.
Keep him straight, Counselor.
Yep. Yeah, we just need to make a note of that because this could happen again. I mean,
So my question is, since I made the motion, do I need to amend that to include the attachment? Okay.
No, thank you. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it. Okay.
Judge, when we set these dates up, that we thought the coronavirus epidemic would be over by now and we'd go back on regular schedule for our meetings, but we see it's not, so this is a safety precaution we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
For 2 more months, and when 2 months is over, we may have to amend it again.
Yeah.
So,
And we did that in January because we knew the holidays, you know, and we knew a lot of people would be traveling and things like that. So, and we thought that maybe by the end of January that we would be out of it. But I just got a report from Baptist Health Richmond yesterday that there's still quite a few still in the hospital, and so cases are still up. So we felt like it was better. And we're really appreciative of Bria and Mayor Fraley for allowing us to use this. I mean, this is a nice space where we can spread out more. Our fiscal courtroom's hard to social distance in, so. All right. We do have a motion and a second. Thanks for the clarification. Any more discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you all. Next is Smart 911. And I think we got a presentation from our 911 director, Wendy.
Hello.
Wendy Lynch. Good to see you, Wendy.
Good to see you all.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to come and talk about Smart 911. It's been around a few years thanks to this court and the city of Richmond and the city of Bria. It's free service we offer to our citizens. It is an app-based program, so since many of you probably have your phones on you now, they're probably on silence if you have time during the presentation. It's so easy to sign up for. You could probably get your phone out and do it right while we're talking about it. So basically, it is just what it is. It's an app. You can do it on the App Store or Google Play, and you just type in the app Smart 911, and it's going to bring up for you to download. So it's to keep your loved ones safe with the Smart 911 app, and this is, again, a free service brought to the citizens by the county and the 2 cities through our 911 board. You can give us all kinds of valuable information. It does emergency alerts. You can do household information, and by that it means when you go in and register, like where your home is, you can even take pictures of which door is easiest to access. I know for my profile, we use a side door that has an actual code that you can use to get in. So if we were trapped inside the home, or if one of my parents had fallen and we couldn't get there in time to give the key, then those responders would safely get that information, and it's secure. You can do a complete medical history. So with COVID going on, that's a good thing. If you've tested COVID positive and you call and you're not able to tell us a lot, we would know that because you can update and change medical history. If you've had a recent heart attack, stents, pacemakers is another great one. Latex allergies is really nice for us to know and to give that information to the responders, especially EMS as they're going in. You can give us information about your pets and service animals, your emergency contacts, and any vulnerable needs. You can give as much information as you want to give, or as little as you want to give. The information is very private. It's through Smart 911. We only have access to it when your cell phone has called 911, and it pops up on the screen and gives us that information. And again, as you can see, with family, you can tell us who all's in your family, who your emergency contact would be. You can upload pictures of your children, which is really nice. We've had a couple this week that were thought to be missing, but they were located safely within the residence. But as responders are going, if we have those pictures, that's just something we can go on and give to them to be observing any kids on the way. It's very good with all the NTI days you're having right now. There's a lot of middle school kids and high school kids that are home alone during the day. So if they have to call 911, if they're unable to speak, or if they're just not sure of their address, those things would come up. Old telephones, the analog system, it already popped up your address, so we kind of knew where we were going. But with cell phones, you just don't know that. So it does pop up on our map, and we get within 500 feet. But if your child lives in an apartment complex, it would be nice to know what that apartment number is instead of door knocking to see where the emergency is. You can also, again, with the medical information, you can put, if you are going to need a lift assist with EMS, if it's a bariatric patient, You can put your medicines in there, and that's always nice, because I know when people call, sometimes it won't be the person that lives with them or their loved one, and they won't know what medications they're on. So any of that can be updated and added in. You can add your vehicles in, so if we get a burglar alarm at your house and we go and we run that vehicle and it's not the vehicle you have listed, then that would bring up some suspicion for the units that are responding. Again, animals, it's just nice to know if we have a fire or an alarm at your house, if there is some type of animal inside or outside in the backyard. And then you can, again, your emergency contacts, which is really good, especially if you're in an accident and you're unable to speak. You know, it gives law enforcement that next of kin or that point of contact of anybody that might want to meet you at the hospital, those kind of things. So it's really helpful. It's a great benefit. Again, it's free, very easy to sign up for. It pulls up on our screen, kind of looks like this. This is just a screenshot. So it'll show the contact case, any history if we've been out there before. And where it says alley and there's a little bubble to the right in the middle, that's just your automatic location identifier. So that's just kind of where it pinpoints it onto the map. We have a 911 phone system, and then we have a dedicated screen at the top that has this information on it. And then you can see like where the little camera is, like where someone has uploaded the camera, so we know to click on those and get that information. So it's really short and sweet. It's easy to do. Do you all have any questions about it? You'll be hearing about it a lot. We're really pushing it. Like I said, we done it a few years ago. We kind of looked at the numbers, and for the population size that we have, we just really don't have as many subscribers as we would like. And I think it's one of those things that when it starts out, you talk really big about it, but then you have a lot of people that come here from other states that are moving in. We have the depot and different jobs, and it's just nice for them to know. Not only does Madison County have it, all surrounding counties have it. Several other counties within the state have it, and then I think the state of Tennessee, the whole entire state has it. So it's something I know when my mother-in-law and father-in-law were live when we first got it. When they had to go back and forth to Lexington for medical appointments, I opted them in for Smart 911, so if they were in an accident or anything like that, they would know who to call, because I don't know that they would have known that information, especially our cell phone numbers right off. So all of that was in there. So it's just really good information, and it's really good if you know nonverbal. I know we have a couple in the county that use it, so if they call in on 911, we know they're nonverbal. So once we disconnect, anytime we connect, whether you're signed up for Smart 911 or not, if you've called 911 from your cell phone and disconnected, it gives us the ability to text you. So they will say they are nonverbal, they'll disconnect, and then we start our text back and forth. So
Wendy, I want to thank you, sir, for initiating this program and getting it going in Madison County, and kind of getting involved and trying to get as many people hooked onto it as you can, because like you said, it's quick and easy. I went on right here on apps and went to Smart 911, and it brought it up automatically. You can add as little or as much information as you want to, and when you have an emergency situation, the emergency people that are coming to your rescue or to your home, the more information they have, the better they can help you in whatever situation you're involved in. So
it really is. And for us, we share a driveway, so we have all that information. We share a driveway. You have to go past a barn and then to the back, because you can't really see us really well from the road, especially at night. So just any of those little things, it makes a big difference to your responders. Yes, and again, on the security of it, it is very, very secure, and it's only up for the duration of your phone call. Once that phone call goes down, we do not have the ability to go back in and pull up people's information to see anything. So we have to get it right when it's on the screen. We don't have the ability to go back and view your personal information or give it out if somebody's looking for somebody. It doesn't work like that. It's through a third party, through the Smart 911.
So does the Smart 911 information come up if they make the call from their home phone?
No, if you do your home as a facility, you could do that, but if you are still making a 911 call from your home phone, it'll automatically give us your name and phone number. If you're using the old analog system or even the new fiber, if it's a home phone, we get that. It's just with the cell phones, we do not get it. So with a cell phone, if I called right now, it would give my name. Usually it doesn't, but it'll give my subscriber number and then the tower number that I hit off of. And then we would have to go in and keep rebidding and getting closer and closer, and then we would only get within a 500 range, but we wouldn't know anything about your apartment, your house, or your residence unless you were subscribed to Smart 911.
Does this work across county lines? Like, so does all counties in the state participate?
Not all counties. The majority do, just because it's not something that the state funds for everyone. We're blessed that our county does, but I know Fayette County does, Jessamine County, our surrounding counties, most of them, and then some of the larger counties throughout the state. But it is a goal that, the state 911 board looked at as part of Next Gen 911, but I don't know where that'll be with all the other
Yeah.
stuff they have coming.
I know where I live in the county, I'm really, when I've accidentally dialed 911 before when I'm mowing, you know, like the little SOS thing, and so I'll have a call from Winchester when I get done mowing, and it's Winchester, it's Clark County
They're
911.
partners, so they would see that now, and they'll be like,
So
oh, he's
that-
actually Madison County, and they
Yeah.
would transfer you to us.
Tell you, okay.
It's very, very helpful on the interstates and things like that, and those
Yeah.
cross lines when you're living in those areas.
Do other states participate in it?
Do, I think Tennessee pays for, I mean, I might be misspeaking, I think Tennessee pays for their whole state as a state. Isn't
Okay.
it? Michigan also, yeah.
yeah.
So there's some that it's just a statewide.
So so this Smart 911 app, say I'm on vacation in Florida with my family, and if Florida participates in it and we had to call 911, it would work the same way.
Yes, because
Yeah.
one of the big selling points for us was if UK and Tennessee is playing and you're a UK fan and you're signed up, but you're in Tennessee and something happens, it's going to pop up. Same with them if they're here for a big game. So that was kind of one of the things they were showing us if you lose your child at one of those games. Now you have that information, you have that picture that you might not have had if you left your phone or done something, and they can push it out
Yeah.
with the pictures. It's really,
That's good.
it's a really good thing. Most of us at work, we all have it, and I think we're going to offer it as employees. New employees sign up, so I encourage anybody to do that. And if you're out speaking in the community, it only takes a few minutes to mention the Smart 911 app that everybody can benefit from.
So it's basically going to ping your current location then?
Well, yeah, we can ping your current location, but it's also going to bring up pertinent information about you, about your home, your medicines, and different things for responders.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy.
It's good.
Yeah. Any questions or anything?
Any other questions? Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
I want to take just a few extra minutes just to thank Wendy and her team at 911. I know that Wendy and her team are always sort of more behind the scenes, but they truly are the backbone of our emergency response. And I think a lot of times they don't get the recognition that they deserve. And so it's always refreshing to me when you come and present, no matter what, because it gives us the opportunity to really thank you and thank your team for what they do for all Madison County. You know, 911 is a joint endeavor with the Madison County Fiscal Court, Berea City, and Richmond City. And so they do have a governing board that was set up many, many years ago. But again, they are a lot of times behind the scenes, and I'm just proud of you. Glad you're part of I'm glad I can be your administrator and all your staff, and you all are part of the Madison County family. Thanks for what you do. Our road crews have been very busy, again, keeping our roads clear. I think Scott's maybe going to give us an update here in a minute in department head meetings. But I wanted to put a focus on our tracks program, just as a reminder to the community and the citizens to utilize that during a snow event. It really is helpful to give you a true perception of what our road crew's doing in real time. You can see when they've gone by your road. You can see what roads they're on. You can see what road is a county responsibility or a city responsibility or state responsibility. This program that our team created, how many ever years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, is really helpful in that event. And we just want to make sure that all of our citizens know how to use that, how to go watch it. It's the social medias. You can go on Facebook. You can actually get on our website at madisoncountyky.us/tracks. And it really is helpful. We've gotten a lot of feedback from people. Our phone calls have gone way down from before we had it. And so it is really a good tool and a good resource to help citizens understand the snow events and where we're at. It also helps us keep our people safe that are out there on those narrow roads at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're monitoring that and making sure that our employees in those trucks are safe and are being looked after. So we are providing the tree and limb debris pickup on the following roads. Please remember Old Wilderness Trail North, Union City Road, Hackett Pike, Brookstown Road, Nolan Road, Walker Park Road, Doyle'sville Road, Willoughby Road. This is only for tree limbs, not other storm debris. In order to have your debris picked up, residents must schedule an appointment in advance with our road department. Appointments will be taken in 3 rounds. Please contact our Madison County Road Department at 624-4739 with questions or wanting to schedule a pickup. We have had residents that have utilized it. I got an update from Scott this morning on that. So for those that maybe haven't called yet or maybe have forgotten or didn't know about it, please utilize this. This is a way that we can try to help those during that storm event. Also, spring is just around the corner, and Battlefield Golf Course has numerous packages available for 2022 season. Call 624-8005. Again, that's 624-8005 to discuss package options with one of our staff members. Next is comments from magistrates. Tom, start with you today.
Just a couple things, Judge. I made a comment in the last court that I just wanted to address just a little bit, and I don't know if it was translated incorrectly. I'm talking to you now. Or if it's just misinterpreted, which is what I would say probably was happening. But anyway, it was directed at the state police. And I was talking about the sheriff's services and him having to supply people to cover things that the state police couldn't get to. That's not a dig at the state police. State police does a great job at what they can do, but they're short-staffed by a whole bunch of people. I hope that the House bill that's up there, if it passes, gives their people a $15,000 pay raise, will help them to get more people. I mean, they're bad short and they need help. But anyway, we're satisfied with them. We just wish there were more of them. That's enough said about that. I've got a couple of questions, Judge, that I'm going to reserve until the claims section. I just want everybody to know that the state is going to be filling potholes today and tomorrow down on Highway 1295 and down on 595, so please be aware of that and be cautious of those folks that are out there. I want to give Brandon McIntosh a pat on the back there. He made some changes to the drivers and the snow routes for the 4th District, and I think this in this past event that showed, and we had a lot, or at least I had a lot fewer calls. I'm assuming that translates to better service that was given in our district. So I appreciate the things that he's done out there, and just wanted to let him know about that. Our county road department done a great job in the last snow event. Scott, so thank you. Thank your people. I always try to make sure that they know that we appreciate what they do out there. It wasn't perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You know, we had some hiccups. We had a few mailboxes that were torn down. And just to that effect, if that happens to you, and it's going to happen, it's just the cost of doing business. Every now and then it's going to happen. Sometimes they're backing up in a very tight space. They're going to hit a mailbox. But anyway, if that happens, you can call me, or you can call straight down to the road department, and the next day or two, they'll come out and get that put back up for you. So don't panic. We'll fix it.
And speaking of that, Tom, I think it's good too to say, you know, it's not always the actual truck actually hit the mailbox either. When a snow plow is pushing snow, you know, that snow rolls, and I've actually seen it with my own eyes. When that snow comes off the blade and it's got some force behind it, it'll hit that mailbox, and I've seen it knock them off. So it's not necessarily that our truck is hit it or our blade has hit it. The pressure of the snow coming off the blade can knock them off.
And that's what it was in this case. And the ones that I saw, that's what had happened. The snow had just hit them and knocked them off. But that's happened. It's just part of doing business. So outside of that, Judge, if anyone needs me, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, buddy. John?
Judge, I just want to thank Scott and the road department for keeping up on the debris from the tornado. Scott, what's the last deadline on that to? The end of January. Okay, so you only have a couple more days, guys, to call in and schedule your pickup for your limbs and tree trunks and so forth to get picked up. And that seemed to be going well. And I had a lot of comments about how helpful that's been. A person have a small yard and no way to get rid of a lot of debris. If you have repair on a county road, a narrow county road, go ahead and call those in. We'll put them on our list. Don't wait until spring comes and we get real busy. We will reschedule that because we've got a lot of snow events and a lot of debris pickup right now. So we are busy with the road department. So just schedule it and call in, and we'll get it on your list. Any road repairs that needs to be done, because we're going to have a lot of ice and snow and freezing between now and spring, and there'll be a lot more coming in. I just want to remind everybody, the legislators in Frankfurt are doing some redistricting, and that is not finalized now. I think the senators and the representatives have put their proposal in. It may have been vetoed, and so that is not settled yet. Just kind of watch news from Frankfurt and contact any local officials here. When we find out the final drawing on those redistricting, we will let you know. I know a couple of representatives within my area are going to lose or gain some of their jurisdictions, so I think I may be getting a new representative in the 3rd district, and somebody else is gaining some ground over in another district. So just be aware that that's going to be changing in the near future. That's all I got, Joe.
Thanks, buddy. Raj?
I'd say most of you are aware that we lost a gentleman that used to be a magistrate on this court, Forness Parks. I was real close to Forness. I'm going to start off with a story about in my rehab for my heart. I'd go to Patty A. Clay to work out, and I'd been working out there for a few times a week, and all of a sudden Forness comes pushing with his walker, in, and he's going to work out. He's 95, 6 years old, and finally I wave at him. I'm across the room from him, and I wave at him, and he sees me. So from then on, when he came in, he looked until he found me and waved. He'd never failed. I always got there earlier than him, so he was still working out, and I mean working out, he'd be on a bicycle, and sometimes they'd have to get him off of it and make him stop because he'd get woozy or whatever, but he was going to do it. That was just, he was determined. But he'd always walk in the door and look for me so he could wave at me. And I never left that he didn't tell me he loved me. And that was Forness Parks. So when I heard that he had passed, my memory is not as good as it used to be, so if I don't write something down, I can't remember what I wanted to say. So I'm going to read to you just as soon as I found it out. My friend Forness, he held a position on this court that I hold today. He did it with honor and dedication. I only knew Forness as the man that held the position before me when I took office. By being assigned to be on the board of the Valley View Ferry, I was blessed to serve along with my friend Forness. As I would ride to the other counties as well as Madison County, we would talk about the happenings of the day as well as maybe the issue concerning the ferry or our families or politics. We never knew each other as a Democrat or a Republican. We knew each other as friends. Forness gave me a lot of valuable advice and years of friendship. He would tell me of watching us on TV and how he would be proud of me for how I held my stance on a certain position or a specific issue at hand. Forness was a servant at our church, and from time to time would sing a song for all of us. He was my brother in Christ. He was my mentor, my support when I needed, and most of all, he was my friend. May you rest in peace.
Amen.
That's all I got, Judge.
Thanks, Raj. He was a special man to a lot of people.
Yep.
Ben?
Master Burgess, thank you for that fitting tribute
Thank you.
to Master Forness Parks. It was nice to hear that, and thank you. Thank you. A couple quick comments. I know that we've, everybody said it, and we all mean it. Thanks to the road department for the work that they did during the past snow and ice that we had. Also, I want to thank the folks at the fire department as well as the sheriff's department for what they do during these events as well. Thank you all. I'd also like to give special thanks. I know that it's been said once, but Brandon McIntosh, I think that good guy. I received a phone call from him, and we talked for a few minutes about different priorities and what's on his plate, and the over 700 miles of roads that he has to keep clear. And granted, some of those are contracted out, like I-75 and bypasses and those types of things, but he's still left with about 300 some odd miles of road that he has to manage and clear. And I would like to thank him, one, for the call, and two, Red Lick Road was in some pretty bad shape, and Brandon took it upon himself, got in the truck himself at 5 a.m. And went out there and, you know, ran the blade from one end to Estill County twice and salted. And I can tell you that the folks at, you know, in the southern, you know, southeastern part of the county were very thankful and appreciative for the work that he's done. Brandon's also been working with a lady with a drainage problem on Highway 21 on Big Hill Road on potentially replacing the culvert. In fact, he was out there last week again with one of their engineers to look at it, because the problem with this particular culvert is there's a 14-inch water line that runs up from Owsley Fork that supplies water to Berea. So he took an engineer out there, and they're looking to try to fix this problem and make sure that the water moves as it should and doesn't go in Miss Garrett's house. So thank you all, and thanks again, everybody, and be safe out there, please.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Kenny?
Yeah, I'd like to mention we've avoided really being impacted by COVID, other than the times we were closed to public and did things differently. But I've got 4 deputies that have children with COVID right now, and 1 at home herself with COVID. So we're not as responsive as we have been. We're still open. We're still, and thank the Lord for cross training, or otherwise we'd probably be dead in the water. But just remember, if every email, every phone call, or every voicemail is returned every day before we get out of there. So if you can't get somebody on the phone right now, just leave a message and we will get back to you.
Thanks, Kenny.
Sure.
Sheriff?
No,
Yeah.
Judge, got nothing.
Steve? Good? Counselor? You good? All right. Next is department heads. I think we do have a couple of maybe presentations today. I think Morgan, Scott, y'all want to flip a coin, see who goes first, or? Yeah. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. So last court, we discussed the employee engagement survey. I wasn't here, but Judge Taylor introduced it to you guys. So I just wanted to touch base with everyone to let you know where we stand with that process. So last week on Thursday, Judge Taylor, myself, and Jill began our trips to all the departments to reach out with them and our staff and communicate the survey to them and our expectations. And so we finished up that yesterday. We met with Steve in the jail. That was our last bunch that we spoke with. So we are planning on finalizing getting all of those responses back by Friday, no later than 8 a.m. And the reason for that is we have a couple departments that have different shifts, so all of their shifts, we got to give them plenty of time to roll in and take that survey. At that point, after Friday, we have a retention and recruitment task force who is going to be meeting and analyzing those results for every department and then for the organization as a whole. And then we're intending to present that to you guys on February 8th with our action plan of what we want to implement for our employees. Yeah, do you guys have any questions about the process or how those surveys went?
My only question is, are we going to get to see the data?
Yes. So next
As well as comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And so our survey, we're going to break down all those results and create a presentation for you guys for the next court that you'll be able to see.
Okay.
As of this morning, we did have 112 responses, which is phenomenal. That's a little bit over 60% for all of our departments. We do have several departments who have 100% completion rate, which is wonderful. So we're going to send out some more encouragement to make sure everybody gets their responses in time.
Good.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Morgan.
Awesome.
Appreciate the update.
Yep.
Next is Scott Shepard, our road supervisor. He's just going to kind of give us an update and an overview of the snow events that we've had. I've said quite a bit out and about that I don't know that we've ever had the first 20 days of a year being so challenging. I mean, it started off with a tornado. We've had flooding. We've had 3 or 4 snow events already. So it has been a very challenging first few weeks of 2022.
Did you get to go back to sleep after I called you and woke you up?
Which time?
Which time?
We're all good. Judge asked me to kind of get some costs together for what these events are costing us. So we've never really been able to look at this before, but along with snow tracks, our IT department has created something called road tracks. So now we are logging everything we do in live time. The guys are on tablets. As they do the work, it's entered in who was there, how many men, what materials we used, and it's recording everything and sending it back to us so we can look at that at any time we want to. In the future, someone has a question on a road when a pothole was filled. Now we just type it in, it's gonna pull up, we can look at that road and tell everything that's been done to it. In the past, we had to go through journals. It could take days to get you answers. But from here on out, we will be able to do it live. So just kind of some results. Our first snow event was January 6th and 7th. It cost us $15,064 in man hours, $69,984 in salt, $1,005 repairs to the truck after we was done with the event, for a total cost of $86,054. Our second event was January the 9th. Cost us $4,139.78 in man hours, $18,468 in salt, $232 in repairs, and a total cost of $22,839.78. Our third snow event was January 16th and 17th. That cost $15,211.27 in man hours, $52,002 in salt, $3,530.57 in repairs, for a total cost of $70,743.84. Our final fourth snow event was January the 20th. The cost on man hours was $7,814.74. Salt was $35,964. Repairs were $910, for a total cost of $44,688.74. So the total for the 4 snow events that we've already had in 2022 is $224,326.36. That just kind of brings light to what actually, when you put money to what we're out there doing, and for everybody to realize what it cost. I do want to mention that we, have had 4 in a row, so we've already used our salt budget this year. We have probably half of our reserve left, so if we have, any more, I would suggest that I come back to the court probably and ask for more money and try to get some salt on hand.
How many, you say we're about half on salt? We normally keep about, 3,000
Yeah,
tons?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the salt a ton right now, Scott?
It's right at $100 a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And, yes, we can hold 1,500 ton in each bin, which is 3,000, but we had stocked up with an extra 1,000 ton that we'd put in the side sheds.
Mm-hmm.
So, we do
Add a
have
little more.
enough salt on hand for a couple more events,
Yep.
but that will be it. So, like I say, if we have another one, we probably need to go ahead and try to get some more salt in here due to the trucking shortage. We have been fortunate so far. Every time we've called, they have brought it. But as we have more, people are gonna get lower, and then the trucks are gonna dry up.
So just a question, the last, it looked like it was around what you just said, 1,993 tons of salt that was just purchased on the last claims.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't fill the sheds back up?
Well, we used it.
Yeah.
It filled them up, but
So that was before the events?
Yep, yep. Yep, so we started pretty full, and then we had the first 2 events, and it knocked us down quite a bit, and then we ordered another 1,000 ton, which we had budgeted for, and then we've had 2 more snow events, so we're about half capacity right now on salt.
And all these have been in the month of January.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Scott, quick question. I mean, I appreciate the breakdown of the costs and man hours and that kind of stuff. When, you know, we look at this, you know, do you have the granular data that says we drove X number of miles?
Yeah.
Over all that? And on average, what is that, you know, per event? To kind of put, you know, put miles to numbers. I mean, because everybody looks at it and says, oh my gosh, we spent, you know, almost $225,000 for 4 different events. But, you know, when I look at it,
about 530 miles every time.
okay,
And that's 530 miles one time.
Yeah.
right,
So most no events, you're running them 2 to 3 times.
right.
So you have to multiply that 531 by 2 or 3.
And I think sometimes that does not get captured, you know, in the number.
Correct.
You know, as far as, you know, miles driven, hours worked, you know, all that kind of stuff, which is nice to hear as well.
Okay.
Because sometimes people, you know, like I said, get shocked at the, you know, get sticker shock from the cost. And, you know, sometimes I like to hear the, you know, the granular data to it that says, okay, yeah, but we worked, you know, 500 man hours. We did, you know, we burned through X amount of fuel, and we drove, you know, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, whatever it may be, to, you know, to help people kind of wrap their head around the number.
Sure. I'll make sure next time if Judge will give me a little more heads up, I'll try to get deeper and give you more,
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit, because
more statistics.
yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Thanks. And it's not only for me, but I bet that other people would want to hear it as well.
Sure. And we can do that. That's not a problem. It just-
Hey, I commit. I'll give you more time next time. How's that? Yeah.
Scott, I used to make a comment, Ben, when you see the salt past your house, there goes $50,000.
I was just curious, the $100 a ton, is that what we paid for this last, or was it cheaper than that, what we've already used?
Roger, I think we bid it out. So our bids are good from June to June.
June, yeah.
Okay.
So we actually bid it, and I think it's like 98.
Yeah, it's a little less than
$98 and something, $97.20. Our IT guy knows better than I do. But our bid come in at $97.20. So that will be good until June of this year.
I can remember when it was $60, $65, $70.
Well, it's been that since we were been here.
Yep.
I mean,
7 years
you know,
ago, it was
it-
62,
68.
Yeah.
$62, $65.
I'm just wondering whether it's better to go ahead and buy it now. Is it gonna be higher later? I mean, I know we don't know those things.
Well, now, we did that.
Last year.
We did that last year. That's why we stocked up, because our price was
They hope
$10,
it-
$15 cheaper a
Yeah.
ton. And so we said, well, let's go ahead and buy it out of this budget,
Right,
because we already knew what our new budget was gonna be. It was $98. And so,
but we've gotta have the extra money to do that with too.
yeah.
And you gotta
And we
figure
did.
out your evaporation rate,
Right.
because you buy that salt, and you're gonna lose 10% of it from year to year just through moisture and evaporation. So you gotta figure out if it's gonna be better on you to go ahead and purchase it.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I'd just like to say, I spent part of one evening over there with Scott and him loading trucks and monitoring the radio and helping people find routes and everything. Scott is the pinpoint to the wheel. He's the focus point to the wheel that keeps everything moving over to the road department, and I appreciate what he does. And every time they're out there, Scott's working too. So he doesn't go to the house when he gets his 8 hours in. He'll spend all night, go back within 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and do it again the next day. So it's a tough job, and we appreciate all the road department and the ones that are in charge over there, Scott. Melissa puts a lot of time in over there too. I can't leave her out.
I'm nothing without my people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is there any other department heads? Glenn,
He mentioned that the salt is gonna probably go over if we have much, keep on this pattern of winter. I also wanted to bring up, so you all are aware, you're not gonna see it on this report because it just went through 12/31, but the purchase orders that have come in through February that's gonna be paid on the next court, we're down to $12,000 in the contracted inmate housing. Some of that is due, some of it's due to population, some of it's due to our project going on, our energy project going on, so we have to move people out of cells so we can work on them. Right now, we had 900,000 budgeted. We're down to 12,000 after these purchase orders go through. we're probably gonna end up having, if it keeps on the same pattern, around 650,000 more that the general fund's gonna have to give to the jail to pay for that. So between that, more salt, probably a couple $100,000 at least, or 200,000-300,000, just to give you all an idea of the things that come up during the year. So if it looks like we've got a big surplus in our checking and stuff, we don't. Just like that, $1 million can go.
Can go.
So just wanted to give you all a heads up on that. Some of the things that are, all our other line items are looking really good. You can look through this report that goes halfway through the year. You can see most of them, most all of them are under 50% or they're one-time cost. But those are two that we're gonna have to watch and we are gonna have to transfer.
Yep. Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate the update there. Comments from audience? Anybody from the audience? Appreciate you being here today. Pay the claims and approve the transfers. I need a motion and a second.
Did you have something to say, sir?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Be glad to do it. Yep, glad you're here. Motion and a second to pay the claims, approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
I think, Tom, did you have something you wanted to bring up in the claims
I
and
can
transfers?
get the one I need from Scott offline.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll. Master Barger. Master Bodkin.
You got
Yes.
it wrong.
Oh,
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Botkin,
Yes.
Master Robinson,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
yes. Our next meeting will be February the 8th, 2022, right back here in Berea. Again, that's February the 8th, 2022, right back here in Berea. It'll be at 9:30 a.m. Look forward to seeing everybody back at our next court meeting. Need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Botkin,
Yes.
Master Robinson,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Wendy, could I see you just a second? Thank you.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here.